Hey everyone, it is time for our weekly Facebook Live, and I need to apologize to all of you that it's not our Touch Base Thursday, so we'll call it our, I don't know, something Friday, but not sure what you want to call it. But anyway, I want to thank everyone for allowing me to be flexible with all of you because summer times get to be a little bit lax, I think, for all of us, and I ended up making a really quick trip over to my mom's to help her with a few things over the last couple days. And so anyway, I just am glad that you guys are understanding and flexible of that. So I'm just going to give myself a couple minutes to make sure that I'm live with all of you before we get started. And I have lots of awesome fun things to share with all of you tonight. So again, just going to check to make sure that I am live here, which I'm not sure. Let's see. Yes, it looks like I am indeed. Needed to refresh my computer here. So there I am. Okay, so anyway, you guys, I still have my Vogel sale all set up. You can probably see, hi Robin, Donna, yay, I am live. So you can probably see all of the mess behind me and some of my awesome displays that I have on my boards here in my basement. But I still have my Vogel sale stuff out because my online Vogel sale is still going strong. So if you haven't checked out the online Vogel sale, make sure you look in that group. There's an online Vogel sale a separate Facebook group. I've posted the link a couple times here on my page and over in my group. And basically how it works is whatever you claim that you would like to purchase from the retired products posted in all those albums. I have albums for the stamp sets, ribbons, so on and so forth. So anything that you would like to purchase, you just simply put mine or sold, and when you're all done, you let me know and I figure you up and you give me an order for that same amount out of the new annual catalog. So you only pay me for your catalog order. Everything in those albums is basically yours for free, and I will ship it to you. I do PayPal invoice you though the shipping to ship those products to you. So those of you that have already purchased from my online Vogel sale, it is on my list of things to do this weekend before we leave for our trip next Friday to get those, I'm looking at them over here to the left of me, to get those packaged up to give to all of you and get them in the mail, I should say, to all of you well in advance of us being gone. So couple things, again, updates. Thank you guys so much for your flexibility. So some of you have been asking me questions about my mom and how my mom is doing and what's going on. So just a little quick update on my mom. Her wrists are bothering her really bad. We're waiting to have her, she's going to have some testing done to see what's going on, but she can't do a whole lot. So the girls and I went over there yesterday, just got back about an hour ago today, cooked a bunch of meals for her, we cleaned her house for her, and just did some things to help her along so that I'd feel better leaving. Most of you know that next Friday, my husband Matt and I leave to go on our Stampin' Up! Incentive trip to the Greek Isles. It's a cruise of the Greek Isles. And so I feel better knowing that she's got some food to eat and that she's going to be okay while we're gone. So anyway, so I appreciate you guys' flexibility, but it was really the best 2 days that I was able to get over there and help her. So appreciate the flexibility from all of you. Couple other updates. As I mentioned, we'll be leaving July 5th. I will still be doing a Facebook Live with all of you on Thursday, July 4th. Okay, it might not be a real big Facebook Live, but I'm planning to showcase for you the awesome flowers you can make using the Daisy Lane punch. And so it might not be a bunch of projects because I'll be getting busy ready to leave. And I know it's the 4th of July and a lot of you will be gone, but I'm still going to pop on here, do a couple quick things showing you the Daisy Lane and the Daisy punches, the medium and the large punch, and how you can make some awesome flowers layering those two together. And then I will not be live with you the following Thursday, and I apologize, but we will be on a cruise. And so anyway, I will not be able to be live with all of you. Now, what I will tell you is that while I am gone, I have 2 people that are going to be helping me posting to our page regularly. You're also going to get posts from me, but my post will be showing you guys some awesome pictures from our cruise and things like that. And but I have my amazing friend Robin Wiltsey. So if you see posts from Robin, she has agreed to assist me while I'm gone, as has my daughter Natalie. All of you know Natalie. She's been on my Facebook Lives before. We're leaving the kids home. They're staying with some friends. And so basically, she's going to also be helping as well. So any questions that you have or emails, I may not get back with you guys right away. I'm going to apologize. I will have internet sporadically, but I am going to be I'll be unavailable more than I will be available. How's that? So anyway, but I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate you guys understanding, like I said, and I just want to let you guys know that they will be still doing some awesome things. There's also going to be a huge ordering promotion while I am gone. And so I wanted to tell you guys that. I'm not going to tell you what it is, because it will post one of the two that Robin or Natalie, I don't know who yet, but one of the two is going to be posting that for all of you, and you'll be able to see that when I leave. I always do an ordering promotion when I leave, because one, I love to be able to give back some kind of a benefit to all of you who support me in my Stampin' Up! Business, because all of you help me earn these amazing trips that we get to go on. And so for the 6 years that I've been going on trips, I always offer some kind of an incentive. One time it was 20% off an order. One time it was free shipping. One time it was receiving certain free product with an or minimum $40 order. I haven't completely decided what I'm going to do yet, but it'll be awesome. I will tell you that. And so you will see that post shortly, either before or right after I'm gone. So I want to make sure you guys know about that. Those of you that have also purchased from my online BOGO sale, I know a couple of you I'm going to be calling right after my Facebook Live, but if you are done shopping, please let me know that you're done. We'll figure it up. I would love to get those orders in, because I really want to be able to get some of this stuff shipped out on Monday or Tuesday before we leave on July 5th. So again, make sure you guys know that. But everything is still there for those of you who have not had a chance yet to get out there and look. Now, most of you also know the routine that you need to share my video. If you share my video, you get entered into the drawing to receive some free product. And tonight's free product, so what's up for grabs, both of the tulle ribbon. This is the polka dot white tulle ribbon. And the other item was the metallic pearls. And the winner of the white tulle ribbon is Patrice Goldenberg. Patrice, I don't think I have your address, so if you could appreciate that, and I'll get that in the mail to you. And then the winner of the metallic pearls is Deborah Norton. And Deb, I'm not sure if I have your address. I know we've talked a little bit through Facebook. I don't know for sure if I have it, so it can't hurt. So up for grabs this week for sharing, and these winners will be announced. Again, I know most of you might be gone July 4th, but you can always watch the replay. So that's why I still will be going live next week. I'll be home packing up last minute things before our cruise. So these winners will be announced next week. Again, for sharing, please comment that you've shared my video so that I know that you have, because sometimes I don't see those shares unless you comment shared, okay? Adhesive backed sequins, and a package of the gold faceted gems. And these gold faceted gems will come in handy for next week's video when I showcase for you guys with the Daisy Lane the punches and the stamp set. So anyway, my virtual party. So first of all, I want to tell you guys, I have the most amazing custom, my craziness, and from mode, meaning I had my virtual party, and then I had to get set up for my my BOGO sale, which is a huge undertaking, and then I had to get ready for my online BOGO sale. So I had my virtual party, I don't know when it was, and I mentioned I was going to be doing a Facebook Live on that Sunday. Well, someone, me, didn't think that through, that I'd be setting up for my my BOGO sale and being in the middle of the order during my virtual party. And those of you who did it in that Facebook group about 7, maybe 10 days ago, and I will be going live tomorrow in that virtual party page, so you can always watch the replay if you can't watch it live. We'll be drawing the winners. Let me get all of the people's names into is my Facebook Live still going yet? It looks like it was interrupted.
It's still going. The Wi-Fi is being funky again.
Okay. I know I keep freezing on you guys. I'm sorry. I'm hoping I can get through this. So we'll be going live tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and we will be announcing the winners then so that all of you have it. So, okay. So with that, I am going to the table, and I'm going to share with you guys a couple of really cute projects using the Ride With Me bundle. So I can't wait to share with you guys the cute projects that I've got for you tonight. So I will be right back with you momentarily. It's okay. we'll be fine. And if it doesn't work, I might actually, if I have to, I may have to end my live and restart it, you guys. So if I have to do storms going through. So I'm hopeful that we can make it through this. Will you turn my computer around, Natalie?
Yeah.
Case here, or my my mount that I have my camera in is being a little funky today. There we go. Okay, so these are the two cute projects that I'm going to be sharing with you today, and I also have one more that I will share with you too, but I'm really excited to share these two with you. Let me zoom in here just a little bit so you guys can get a little bit better look on these. What the Ride With Me bundle looks like, because it's really, really cool. Okay, so the Ride With Me bundle is, let me bring in my stamp set. Okay, so this is the stamp set that goes with the Ride With Me bundle. Now this bundle is sold together in the catalog. I think it's like $52 or something like that. But you have this awesome stamp set. And then you also have some coordinating framelits. And so the framelits look like this. And then you also have, and let me actually show you, to bring the stamp set back in and kind of go over it in detail. So you have these awesome little fender wheels here that cut out those. And then you have some little circles that will cut out the wheels. And you have the bumper here. And then you have a framelit that will cut out the balloons, one that cuts out the pumpkins, and one that will cut out the trees, okay? And then you also get this framelit that looks like a big capital M, right? And this actually makes an adorable little truck. So we'll be showing you the truck a little bit later, but it's pretty cool, the truck that makes, or what makes this so cool. Okay, so first I want to share the cards with you, okay? So I'm going to start with this card right here. And what I did this time is I actually looked at the projects in our Stampin' Up! Annual catalog, and I kind of mimicked them a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. And this I thought was so, so cute. And the technique that I'm going to be sharing with you today is how to use a bleach pen to incorporate that technique into your stamping. Okay, so let me find my kit for this project. So what I did is I used, this is the Pacific Point cardstock, and I paired it with the Crumb Cake cardstock. And again, this is your typical card base, 5.5 by 8.5. Crumb Cake cut 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, now what I did is I cut out 3 of those forms using that die that I just showed you. So this great big die, I'm going to bring it out here again so you guys can see it, because it's kind of cool. So this is the die that I used to cut out 3 of these using Granny Apple Green, Pacific Point, and the pumpkin pie, okay? And what I did is I cut off one of the trucks. So I already cut the truck off on the other side, and I used those on my card, okay? So let me bring out my scissors here. Oh, gotta go get a pair of scissors from my table, just a moment. Okay, sorry about that. I had to go get a pair of scissors. Okay, and so what I did is when you cut this out, there's actually a score line right there for if you were going to be folding this to make a truck. And so I just cut along that score line, and all I did was cut these out. Okay. This one has the little tab. I'm just going to cut that little tab off. Again, there's a score line there, so you can easily figure out where you're going to be cutting these. Now the rest of this I would either use for scraps or just throw away. So what I'm showing you here is a neat way to use those framelits to incorporate trucks onto your projects, okay? From there you're going to do some stamping. So again, this stamp set, let me bring the stamp set in, has the little wheels, it has your windows, it has your all kinds of awesome stuff on this. So what I'm going to do is on these 3 trucks is I am going to do some stamping. Now you could have them run, so like I had this truck running this way, And then this truck goes this way, because the neat thing is, oop, I gotta cut that tab off. Because I didn't stamp these yet and they're just on cardstock, I can have them go any way I want them to, or I could have them all go the exact same way. So I am going to actually have my orange one go that way, my green one go this way, and my blue one go the same direction. Another little tab I forgot to cut off. And my blue one go the same direction as my orange one, okay? So from there, I'm gonna do some stamping. I have my Memento black ink pad that I'm going to bring in here. And I'm going to stamp a couple of, this is the stamp for the tires. And I'm simply going to, because they're photopolymer, you can see it perfectly well. I'm going to simply stamp my tires onto my trucks. This was so much fun to play with. And then the next card that I'm going to show you is actually going to be my son's birthday card, which I'll be hanging on to for a while because his birthday's in March, but it's perfect for him. So I can't wait to share that one with you guys too. And then what I did is I also stamped the window, okay? So let me find the window and the door here. So this one is going to run, and Stampin' Up's thought of everything, because this one runs the direction of the truck for the orange and the blue one. And then there's another one that runs the direction of my truck going the other way. Isn't that cool? And then what I did is I cut out the windows. So let me bring my sample back in. You can see this again where I cut out the windows. Now if you had an X-Acto knife, you could do that really, really easily. But I am going to, I think my internet has gotten better. I know some of you might still be having some problems, but mine has finally gotten better. So I don't see any interruption on my end. So I'm hoping it's working better for you guys. I really hope. But mine has totally gotten better. So I was a little janky there for a while, so it was me. So all you're gonna do is cut out this window the best you can. And again, if you had an X-Acto knife, you could really get in here and do a good job with this. But I'm just showing you guys the quick, easy way that I did it. There. And then if you really wanted to get in here and cut a little bit more, you could after you get the bulk of it out. Okay, so that's how you then cut out the window. Isn't that cool? Now I'm not going to take the time to cut the window out on all three of them, but I am going to take the time to show you guys what I did with this bleach pen. Now the bleach pen that I have comes out really, really fast. So if I was going to be doing this over again, and if I would have been smart, I would have brought Q-tips down here, but we're just gonna wing it again. So I wanna show you guys the awesome fun you can have with bleach. You can bleach our cardstock and get a total different look each time you bleach it. Now I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit more here so you guys can watch this and see this magic happen a little bit closer up. I hope that is better for you guys. So what I did is I simply have a Clorox bleach pen. And now you could also use regular bleach if you really wanted to, but I did not want to use regular bleach. And this is where you're going to want to be really careful that you don't get it on your clothes. And all I did was added a little bit of bleach to the center of these trucks, okay? Now the neat thing is when you bleach our cardstock, the colors are going to bleach out and they're going to be a different color. Let me make sure I can get this to come out first, you guys. It's not, there we go. And it's going to be a different color depending on each cardstock. Come on. There we go. So you can see I'm just putting a little bit of bleach in the centers of these tires. And that one I got a little messy, but you guys will get the gist of it here. And again, like I said, I was really careful with my other ones. For tonight's presentation, you can see it's kind of getting a little bit messy. Now what you could do is you could also get a heat tool and you could set heat to these and it would do them a little bit faster. But I'm just bleaching the centers of this cardstock out, okay? And I'm gonna bring my sample back in and show you guys what it did. That one's got a clunk on it. So that's where you gotta bring your cardstock in and get it out of there. And I'm not gonna sit here and let these dry the entire time because it'll take too long, but I will show you guys the effect. You can kind of see that the orange is already starting a little bit there, but I will show you guys the finished product. Can you see how it bleached out those cardstock? So it turned the green and the orange both to yellow, and it turned the blue one to a light blue. Isn't that cool? And that was just by incorporating bleach on there. And I may have done 2 or 3 coats of it. And then, like I said, I know I took the heat tool to it to let it dry, get it to dry faster. But such a fun technique. Now you can bleach out all kinds of cardstock. And again, the neat thing is you can experiment to see what kind of colors you're going to get, because each one is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to set these to the side to dry. And again, like I said, that bleach pen I have comes out kind of fast, and you really want to contain it to just the centers, so I kind of ruined the green one. But I think you guys get the gist of it. It is such an awesome technique. And a lot of times too, you could also stamp with bleach. So I've only done it a few times, but you can stamp with bleach where you put your image into actual bleach and then you stamp it onto your card. And by doing so, you get this the stamped image that bleaches onto your card. So pretty cool. So the rest of the thing that I did with this card is, after I had my trucks done, and that's all the stamping I did, I cut out all 3 of the windows. I then used the stamp of the balloons for the birthday, and I put happy birthday on that, and then I colored the balloons with all of the 3 colored markers. Now this is not with the blends, this is just with our regular markers, and I colored them in with the 3 colors of the truck. And then I used the happy birthday sentiment from the Ride With Me stamp set, punched it out with the classic label punch. If you don't have the classic label punch yet, I love it. So I like to use the classic label punch on cards where I have a lot of stuff going on. So this card's got a lot of stuff going on. It's got, you know, the 3 trucks, it fills it up pretty good, and there's really nowhere to put a sentiment. I thought about even putting it on the back of the truck kind of and covering up one of the door handles, but I liked the look of the trucks. So that is why I chose to just put it up here on the top, happy birthday, and then you kind of cover up one of the trucks. But isn't that cute? I love it. Okay, so that is the first project that I wanted to share with you. The second one is actually using the stamp set itself to make a card. Now this is the card that I made for my son for his birthday, because if those of you that know my son, you know that he is constantly driving around in his fancy truck. He has a show truck, and if those of you that know what that is, it's basically a fancy truck that he takes to different car shows and all kinds of stuff. And he it's on air, if you guys know what that means. It's basically he can bring it up and down with air, and anyway, it's pretty fancy. So anyway, I made this card for him. It says happy birthday, and you guys can probably see the detail in this truck. I used the Stampin' Blends on this one. And inside it says, today belongs to you, ride with the windows open. It's so him, because he is always riding with the truck with his windows down. So I thought this was pretty cool. Isn't that awesome? And so I'm going to share with you how I made this card. So this one I did not use that great big framelit at all. This one I chose to actually use the stamp set, and I used some watercolor paper, and I want to share with you how I did that. So this one I used Whisper White for my card base, and this was the normal 5.5 by 8.5. This one is folded at 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of the Designer Series paper. This is the one from our Neutrals collection. So we have this cardstock, or this DSP, in all of our different patterns from the different color families. This is the Night of Navy. So this is cut, I believe, 3 by 5.5. This one is then cut 3 1/4 by 5.5. So they layered together but don't have any kind of an overage on there. And then all I did was layer these 2 together. So let me go ahead and cut or glue that onto here. So I'm going to have a little bit of a border around there. And then this is going to simply get adhered down to my card, like this. Okay, and then I used our burlap, and I cut 2 pieces of burlap to put behind that truck. Can you see the burlap there? And so all I did was I cut them at an angle. So this is one piece, and my second piece. And all I'm gonna do is put some adhesive down on here, and I'm going to layer these two pieces down to the center of my project. So one here, and I actually did overlap them a little bit, just a little bit. And one here. Now, if you wanted to cut them down a little bit, you could, which I'm going to, because this one's a little bit long, and I don't want it quite that long. I'm actually going to have to find another adhesive. Okay, you guys can't yell at me. I'm going to be bringing out my fast fuse only because my snail is out, and this one is in I have a travel pouch that I take with me, and that's what's in there. So, no yelling at me, because I know I have a couple people who are going to say, Kim, you can't be using that. It's retired. I still have some left, though, you guys. Not much, but a little bit left. Okay. And then I used some watercolor paper. Now this is cut, I believe it is 3. I actually had this piece cut a little bit bigger. I'm not even sure how big this is, you guys. I cut it big enough to just be able to stamp my truck on. So let me stamp the truck onto, oh no I didn't, sorry. This I just used to watercolor, to water wash. So let me bring in a piece of my grid paper, and I'm gonna show you guys how easy it is to put a background on there with doing some quick water wash coloring. So let me get a piece of grid paper. Okay. Put this down here. Okay, so I used Pool Party, and I used Pool Party and Crumb Cake, okay? I'm just gonna move those up a little bit. And then this is just a piece of our actual watercolor paper. And what you're gonna do, or what I did, is I'm gonna actually try to zoom out here for you guys a little bit if I can. Let me see here if I can. Not liking me for zooming out, but I'm going to try to do it again. Hi, Penny. Well, we'll have to make it work, but I think you guys will be able to follow along okay. I'm going to move this up so you can see. And on my sample, I put a little bit of a water wash up at the top for the blue and the bottom for the dirt, okay? And so what you're going to do is a lot of people like to actually push their ink pads together to get some ink in the lid. And I can tell you that sometimes with these new ink pads, I've been struggling with that to get any of the ink out in the lid. But there I did get a little bit. And so all I'm going to do is pull up some of that, and I'm just going to run it along the bottom edge to be my dirt. And if you don't like the look of that, you can actually get it right from your ink. I actually sometimes just pull it right from my ink pad and put it in there, and then I squeeze a little bit of water out to make my own little mixture. And I'm just going to run this across the bottom edge, so I'm making some dirt. And this watercolor paper is designed to soak up water, so don't be afraid to put some on there pretty liberally. It will soak up just amazingly well. So then I'm going to empty out my pen. I'm just kind of brushing it off, getting all of the icky water out of it that's brown. And now I'm going to pull up some of my Pool Party. And all I did, again, is just watercolor wash this. Nothing fancy to it. And again, you can pull up some ink from your pad if you're not like, that's kind of been my new thing. So I don't like trying to pull it up from the lid. I'm not getting enough color is what I'm finding. And I'm just going to add some of the Pool Party behind here. And it needs a little water, so I'm just squeezing some water again into my lid. And nothing fancy with this. I'm literally just kind of letting it fall where it goes. And it might look different than my first one, because that's just how it works. And because it's watercolor paper, it's not going to curl on me like normally other cardstocks might. So I'm just going to let that dry, and that should dry actually fairly quickly. And then on a piece of regular white paper, I stamped my truck using Memento ink because I'm going to be using my aqua, or my, my Stampin' Blends, I had to think of that, to color the truck red. And I know that I shared with you guys in the past how I do my blending, but again, reminders are always nice. It's curling a little bit, but not as bad as it would have if I would have been using other cardstock or other watercolor paper. Okay, so now I'm just going to stamp my truck onto regular paper. So the only watercolor paper that I used was what I just colored. So I'm just going to stamp my truck here. And I am going to cut it out in just a little bit. I'm going to color that first. I'm going to bring my Stampo back in so you guys can see again exactly what I'm doing. So for those of you that may have joined a little late. So this is the card that I am showcasing. And this is piece right back here is watercolor paper. Now this one's about 1/4 of an inch wider, but that's okay. I will cut it down later. So this is what I'm working on right now is the truck, but this is watercolor paper. And again, this is another card that I kind of copied from the catalog. Theirs is done, I think, with a green truck or maybe a yellow truck, I forget. But I chose to use red, white, and blues because it's kind of a nice color for 4th of July that's coming up. And then I made some balloons that were yellow and green and put those in the back of the truck. But that's what I'm creating for you today. So we're going to be coloring that truck here in just a couple of minutes. So I'm pulling out my Stampin' Blends. How many of you love our blends? If you love our blends, comment and let me know, or hit the love button or something. I'm curious to know how many of you like the blends and use the blends more than you might use our regular markers, because I'm finding that to be the case with myself. I am using more and more of our blends than I am using the regular watercolor pencil or watercolor markers. For the truck, I used Cherry Cobbler, so I have both the light and the dark. I'm starting with the light, and I actually colored the truck light everywhere. Now, I'm not going to color all of it for tonight for showing you guys, but I do want to show you again how I get the varied look. So I'm coloring, and it's okay if I go outside the lines a little bit. I'm going to be cutting this out. So I am just coloring all of this light right now. This is the light Cherry Cobbler, and I'm going to color all of this. And this Cherry Cobbler has seen a lot of love, a lot of use in my classes. I'm surprised it's even still working. Okay. So there is the light. From there, I figured out where I wanted my dark. I'm going to bring this back in so you guys can see it. So I chose to do my dark. I wanted the around the wheel here to be dark, and that is just dark without any kind of blending to it with the blender or the color lifter. So I did that dark. And then I kind of did some shadowing. I did some like this on the end, some of this on the top. Went around here. I just added some dark kind of where I thought I might want it. Okay, and I went over it really good to make sure that it would, you could see it. Can you guys kind of see that where I did the dark? Kind of see where I went with the dark? Okay. And then I went over with the color lifter. And I know I've told you guys the color lifter is a must. If you are going to be investing in blends, please get the color lifter. So what I did from there, make sure this is in my video so you guys can see it. Oh yeah. I went over top of all of my dark, where my dark and my light meet. I went over top of it. I'm not pressing too hard. I'm just going back and forth over it. And then I kind of went again over top the dark, and I'm really focusing in on some of those lights and just trying to blend this all together so that you don't really have a big mark where the light and the dark kind of meet. Okay. And then you kind of let it sit for a little bit because it has to dry. But can you kind of see the look that I'm getting by doing that? Isn't that kind of cool? So this is where the blends make you look like you're a coloring pro, because it gives you such flexibility with, it's basically, I kind of call this a bleach pen for for Stampin' Blends, because you can, you know, keep doing it a lot, a little, where you think you might not like it, go over it again, but it'll give you an amazing look, and it makes you look like a coloring pro without even having to think twice about it. So I'm going to bring that in so you guys can see the awesome detail that that does. And I did that for the entire truck, and then I used the Smoky Slate, both light and dark, for the tires, and colored the tires as well. And then yes, I did have to fussy cut this. This is the only thing I wish that Stampin' Up! Would have done a little bit differently with this bundle, is I wish they would have had a framelit for cutting out this truck, because there is not one for this truck. And the one that coordinates with the, let me bring in the blue truck that I put the bleach on so you guys can see. Isn't that cool? This one is totally different than this, so it does not cut that one out. Or this framelit does not cut that truck out. So you do have to fussy cut this, unfortunately, but it does go fairly fast, so it's not too bad. And then what I did is I stamped the balloons twice, and I colored them with Daffodils Delight blending pens and the Old Olive blending pens. And then I adhered one directly onto my watercolor paper, and this one I put on with dimensionals, just to kind of give it a little bit of a different look. You can kind of see that there, how one is raised and one is not. And then I used the exact same label punch, and I want to show you guys how I did that, because I did something that I don't think ever showed you guys before. So what I did is I used a piece of scrap, and I used our light, I believe it was the light, if I can find it here we go. I used the light crumb cake blending pen, and what I did is I colored onto a regular scrap piece of Whisper White, okay, and then using this Happy Birthday sentiment, I just stamped on it. So let me bring in the Happy Birthday sentiment. I don't think I have that on a block yet, so let me get that adhered to a block. And all I did was stamped this onto a piece of that, and then using the classic label punch, lined it up, and I punched it out. And so that way I had the exact same color that matched my sand. Isn't that a cool little technique? I had the exact same color that matched my sand that I could put on the top of there, because it matches here. It blends nice with my burlap. Isn't that pretty cool? So anyway, another little tip that I wanted to teach you guys: if you don't have certain colors of cardstock, and just create your own. Take out your blends, color the piece of cardstock. Isn't that a great tip? Color your cardstock, stamp an image, and no one's going to know that it's not the color of paper, because you just adhere it down and no one sees the back of it. So I love that. Okay, the final thing I want to share with you guys tonight. Now, I cannot take credit for this next project. This next project was made by one of my team members. Her name is Kate Bradley, and I love what she did, but I decided it was the perfect project to showcase this awesome little framelit and how you can put this cute little truck together. So isn't this cute? She made this. It says "Party Till the Cows Come Home," and the balloons are in the back. She also used the Over the Moon stamp set. Is that not flippin' cute, you guys? I love it. I love it. I think she did such a great job on it. And so I chose to showcase her project. Now, we're not going to make it in its entirety, but I wanted to show you a finished project using the framelit. And so when you cut out the framelit, it looks like this, okay? And I know I've showed you guys that before. So I cut out that. Now you're going to want to do any stamping on this prior to putting it together. You will not be able to stamp it very well once you put it together. So I now have this one done. And what I did is I folded in on all of the score lines, okay? And there's a cute little video and I'll post the video that Stampin' Up! Created showing how this goes together. But basically it folds down. And so you can see that I've stamped my my wheels, my hood, my windshield, rear view mirror, tires, all of that, okay? So, and I'll be posting pictures of these so that you guys have this as a template in case you want to make any of these yourself. But once you have it kind of figured out, it goes together pretty awesome. So from there, it just gets literally folded up. And you would put some little Tombow glue on these two sides. I didn't glue this one together because I wanted you guys to see it. But that gets glued together and that gets put down onto the side here. Let me get that in there like that. And this goes like that. Can you kind of see how that goes together? And then the other side's gonna do the exact same thing, adhesive on those little flaps. And this one gets folded and adhered just like that. And this one goes down, same thing. You guys kind of see that okay? And then the back is the same way. The neat thing is this awesome bed has some ridges in it so that you can easily see that that's, you know, like the bed of a truck would. So cute. And the same thing, this all gets adhered down to your, like, let me make sure I got this right here. There we go. So the bed of the truck actually goes down a little bit farther because it's, you know, a bed of the truck, but it gets adhered to those two outside tabs just like that. Isn't that cute? So that is how this awesome little truck gets glued together. I didn't want to actually glue it together because I wanted to show you guys how it went together. Kate actually added a couple additional steps to hers. So she actually did the fenders here for the tires. And that's the neat thing. You can stamp those and you can punch those out or use the Big Shot to get those framelits to cut out. And she actually adhered different tires. So you can see she's got the purple ones underneath here. She actually did tires on white and colored them. Actually, I think she did Sahara sand. So she used Sahara sand and colored them. And then she actually did a separate cutout for the hood is, or the front here as well, the bumper. Isn't that cool? And the neat thing is that on the stamp set, there's this awesome stamp that says, I love Stampin', that you could adhere to the back here. She didn't in her project because she put the balloons on there, but it would fit right there on the back. Isn't that just like the cutest project ever? So I wanted to, like I said, I couldn't have made a project any better. So that's why I chose to just showcase hers because she did a phenomenal job with this. Party till the cows come home. But I wanted to make sure I took the time to show you guys how awesomely this goes together. And I wish we would have had this framelit for my son's wedding because it would have been fun to make these as his little party favor because all of his, at all of the different areas we had little trucks and things. It looked cute. It wasn't tacky, but he had like fancy trucks, one for the bride, one for the groom, one on his, by the cake table, one on the registration table, that kind of thing. So these would have been so cute to set out and maybe just have a couple little Hershey Kisses in the back or something like that. It would have been cute, but too late now. But I really do think it would have been cute. A lot of work, but it would have been cute. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the projects that I shared with you tonight. And again, I appreciate you guys' flexibility in my schedule. I know my mom appreciated me coming to help her. It was great to see her. And like I said, I feel better knowing that she is going to be able to eat well while we are gone because we cooked like 5 different meals for her and they're all in the freezer and she's going to be all set to go for a while. So anyway, like I said, I really appreciate you guys understanding. I know all of you know family has to come first, and I didn't know where else I'd be able to fit it in before I left for our trip. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these cute projects. Now, I will be back with you on July 4th. It is Thursday, July 4th, but I will be back live with all of you before we leave, and I'll be showcasing for you the Daisy Lane bundle. And it might not actually be the whole bundle. I'm really going to be focusing in on those punches and showing you some neat ways that you can make flowers and you can distress them and just some awesome things that you can do with those 2 punches. So anyway, also those of you that live long distance and that you are joining me a little bit late, your BOGO stuff is going to be shipping before I leave. We're packaging it up tomorrow or Sunday. It'll ship Monday or Tuesday. And those of you that even may have come to my local BOGO sale, I chose to send packages to some of you that live long distance or maybe live 45 minutes away I don't see regularly versus having them all being delivered while I'm gone. So if you're wondering if your package is coming to me or to you, let me know. Those of you that come to my classes, I think yours are coming to me, but I just wanted to make sure you guys knew about that. And oh, here's this awesome thing. You can see how great that dried already and how great that looks. It looks kind of like it's a professional little Isn't that cool? It just matches perfectly. So anyway, thank you guys all so very much for joining me tonight. And like I said, I appreciate you guys being flexible with me. I'll be back with you guys next Thursday. Any questions that you have, I'm here until then. And I do have some helpers helping me while I'm gone. So hopefully things will run smoothly. It's going to be really hard though, not posting for all of you and being there. It's going to be hard, but I'm also feeling that this trip is going to be a great thing for us, as for my husband and I, to be able to get away for a little while. So anyway, thank you all so very much. These projects will be posting to my group page, my Facebook page, here this evening yet. And I will be also posting measurements for the card, just so you have them as well. So thank you all so very much. Have a great evening and great weekend. And I will see all of you back here next Thursday on July 4th. I know you guys might be gone, but I'll be here. You can always watch the replay. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you then. Bye.